Hey everybody, it is December 4th, 2007. I'm Sonic Suns. I'm doing a video about the United States and torture policy. It's quite sad that we even have to have this discussion. You would think the United States, land of liberty and justice and all, wouldn't be a part of torture in any sort of way. But in 2004, the Abu Ghraib prison abuse came out. And if you don't know what that is, look it up and do a Google image search. To be precise, you'll find pictures of a man, for instance, with cloth over his head and hanging on all sides of him, being standing on a box and tied to electrodes. Find pictures of prisoners forced to pile on top of each other naked. There are allegations of abuse, torture, rape, and homicide. Exactly how much happened, well, whatever it was too much, because we've seen the pictures. And we've seen our own service member smiling at the abuse of the prisoners. And then we've seen other people defend this sort of thing. Saying, hey, well, these people are murderers and terrorists, and if we want to rough them up, we can. No, sir. There was this particular Senator James Inhofe. Says, quote, I'm probably not the only one at this table that is more outraged by the outrage than we are by the treatment. They're in cell block 1A, 1B. These prisoners, they're murderers, they're terrorists, they're insurgents. Many of them probably have American blood on their hands. And here we're so concerned about the treatment of those individuals. First of all, sir, these are not people who've been through any sort of trial and conviction and proper things. They're in a military prison. They're taken there if the military thinks that they've done something wrong. Perhaps murder, yes. And secondly, even if they're murderers, sir, we shouldn't torture them. And even this, Abu Ghraib actually wasn't even torture in the sense of getting information out of people. It was apparently just torture for the heck of it. I see no claim by anybody like, oh, well, yeah, but we got some data about... No, it's like, it was just pure sadistic tendencies, apparently, that just grew within this prison. And there have been allegations that high levels were involved in this and ordered these techniques, and there have been other allegations that, you know, those people are lying, and I don't know exactly. But the high levels, Bush and the Rumsfelds and all these people, deserve at least some blame, because well, how the heck did this happen? Rumsfeld had an interesting quote. He said, "We're functioning with peacetime restraints, with legal requirements in a wartime situation, in the information age, where people are running around with digital cameras and taking these unbelievable photographs and then passing them off against the law to the media, to our surprise, when they had not even arrived in the Pentagon." Rumsfeld seems at least mildly upset that someone took these pictures and handed them off to the media. This definitely adds fuel to the fire that he's actually okay with these things, because if you're not okay, then wouldn't you be happy that the pictures got released? I heard some report somewhere, I don't know where, so maybe I can't, I don't know, citation needed, basically, but I heard some report somewhere that after the scandal broke out, the army started looking around its prisons to make sure the guards did not have cameras. If that is true, that is completely the opposite of what you ought to be doing, right? If I were in charge of the military and I found some horrible scandal had taken place at one of our prisons, I'd buy more cameras. I'd flood the market with cameras. I'd put cameras in every single freaking prison we have, because if more abuse like this is happening, I want to know about it. Right? We have to stop it. We can't become like the people we're trying to defeat. Particularly when the people we have in prison aren't necessarily always those same people. Once in a while, you get an innocent man. And he's beaten and tortured. Or enhanced interrogation. There's the other thing. Another thing which just even more darkness over this whole deal. Just how much are we doing? Well, there's a whole deal of extraordinary rendition. This is interesting. Where we find a guy in another country. Let's say there's a terrorist and he's in Egypt. You know. And we'll grab him in Egypt and we'll ship him to some random country, possibly still Egypt, or ship him to, like, you know, just somewhere. We have this prison out in, like, Turkey or wherever, you know. Hopefully not, but you ship him somewhere that isn't on U.S. soil. There's the point. This is what extraordinary rendition is. You find a guy, and instead of, like, you know, bringing him back and putting him on some sort of trial, or even keeping him in U.S. custody, we'll turn him over to someone else's custody. And not because that someone else has a valid claim for the guy, but because that someone else, not being us, could, you know, say, torture, and it wouldn't be our fault. That's the idea. And I don't make that claim lightly, that it's torture by proxy. The European Union has looked into this. And, well, they think something bad's going on. There's actually been some arrest warrants issued for members of the CIA here and there involved with various abductions, generally when considering innocent people. For instance, Khaled Masri, if I'm pronouncing that right, he was abducted, injected with drugs, beaten, kept in solitary confinement, and 5 months later they released him saying, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we got your name wrong." Well, thank you for releasing him, but wouldn't it have been nice not to beat and drug the guy in the first place? Or take the Abu Omar case, or the Maji Mahmoud Abdu Ahmar case, or the Mawa Bashmila case. Or a dozen other cases on this fantastic list here. All sorts of people. You know, I mean, we have the CIA itself has admitted to being incorrect sometimes with whom it captures and tortures. And I can kind of understand if you were just capturing. Why the freak are you torturing in the meantime? Oh, I'm sorry. You're not torturing. You're using enhanced interrogation. Oh, I'm sorry. Which is another word for torture, guy. What is enhanced interrogation? What the freak does that mean? Look, if your enhanced interrogation technique involves, oh, I don't know, giving the detainee a batch of chocolate chip cookies in order to, you know, gain his trust, and then maybe he'll tell you some stuff that you wouldn't have otherwise told you. If that's enhanced interrogation, then by all means, give him some chocolate chip cookies. But I seriously doubt that's what you people are doing over there. In fact, according to ABC News, former and current CIA officials have come forward to reveal the details of interrogation techniques authorized in the CIA. And granted, there's a lot of types of torture that are worse than this. But still, we have slapping people around. We have stripping them naked and putting them in a cold cell and forcing them to stand there. We have long time standing. The guy is forced to stand up for more than 40 hours on end. We have waterboarding, wherein the guy is bound to an inclined board. You put a cloth over his mouth. You pour water down his gullet. He feels like he's drowning. Guys, this is what I call torture. There was a memo came out a while ago. I forget when. Never getting this on the Daily Show, though. Defining what torture meant in U.S. law. And it was like, you know, torture is defined as the pain associated with death or major organ failure. Which, you know, torture is death or major organ failure. Torture is a lot of other things besides. Torture, I think we should define as any sort of unnecessary pain, right?